This meeting. Call this meeting to order at 7:04 PM. You all please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Supervisor Crowner is here. Trustee Kelly Hickey.
Here.
Trustee Terry Jones. Here. Trustee Calvin Rock is.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Tom Weiser.
Here.
Assessor Mary Katzberg.
Here.
And tax collector Scriven Young is not here and will not be here this evening. Next up, can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay.
All right, motion by Colleen, second by Terry. First, do we have any comments from the public on the town budget? Yes,
I did.
okay, sure, you can let us know your comments on the budget.
Yes. It's regarding roads, so is this the right?
We'll let her do town budget first and then we'll do road budget
Okay.
second. So do you have anything on the town budget?
Well, it's kind of all tied in together, so I can look it until the road,
Okay,
so.
if we have no comment specific to the town budget, we can move on to the road district budget, so feel free to
Okay.
drop your comments on that.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm a resident in Wheatland Township, and I'm also a Will County board member for this district, District 10. So I'm very involved with our residents as well as our industrial areas, and I appreciate working with Tom here. Tom and I have really gotten to know each other, and I appreciate that. With the budget, the previous budget, the levy for the road district that the township took was 5.6%, and then the township levy was 5.8%. That was provided by the county clerk. And I bring that up because there is an increase in the budget for these funds. And one of the things we're experiencing here in Wheatland Township, especially in our industrial areas, is a rise of traffic, congestion, accidents, and a lot of issues. And Tom's heard a lot from me about these things. Haven't you?
Yeah.
And there's been several accidents, and not too long ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago, there was another very, very serious accident on Township Road, on Normantown Road. So I'm sure you're aware of that. I don't know if you were there that night, but it was a very, very bad accident, and we don't really know the condition of two of the women. We don't know. That leads to the issues that we're dealing with, specifically on township roads, in the industrial parks, but also in neighborhoods where there's, busing issues. But let's focus on our township roads that are not in residential. One of the common concerns that our residents and our tenants and business owners have is the condition of the road, lighting or lack of lighting. In the case of Normantown, the road is very, very narrow and heavily trafficked. In this case, this last accident, there were apparently two cars drag racing all the way from 83rd south down Normantown Road, which led to the incident. residents have indicated that this is a common issue. Happens regularly, they say almost every day, all day. We know, unfortunately, that traffic development brings more of a burden on our infrastructure. So I'm coming before you to ask if, since you are receiving additional funds this last budget, that we look at these public safety issues and we go to the community and present some they can be relatively simple solutions. It may be a road improvement. And I know all this costs money, but that's why you pass these levies. May be a combination of road improvements and also maybe some mechanical things. We could put in it just flew out of my mind, the camera, the license plate cameras. So we have homeowners associations that are working with the police department to capture this information so that only when a law is broken or an accident occurs, they can then follow up and press charges or follow up legally. Now, we have several victims in this last accident, and I don't think they're going to get restitution. They may or may not. So this is a public safety concern. There also apparently has been several incidents inside the industrial park, Wheatland Township Industrial specifically, and that homeowner had damage on his private property, and he has not been able to be compensated for the damage to his private property. So I'm coming forward to you as a board member and a Wheatland Township resident and the taxpayer, and I'm willing to work with you. But I'm asking that we make this a priority. And I'm happy if anybody's got any
I
questions.
just got one point. I do know that the increase in our levies largely being taken by the restarting of our road program, because as you had mentioned, there's a lot of deteriorating roads within the township that was suspended in their previous administration. And so we've been working towards saving as much as we can so that we can rectify, the broken and the potholes and the messed up roads. And so that's where the overwhelming majority of the budget and any increases are going towards, outside of our general maintenance and stormwater conditions. Is it of your opinion that we should increase the levy further to continue to do more with?
I did not say that, and I don't.
I'm just curious. Well, I'm just asking as
I'm
a
just
fellow elected
responding.
official who looking
I'm
at the
just
budget.
responding to your question to me.
Sure.
I don't know if the previous administration left the roads in such bad shape as you just indicated.
Mhm.
I'm not aware of that. I do know, I will say that your crew out there every day working, they're phenomenal.
Agreed.
They're good guys, they're great guys. You got a great crew. I see them out there. Everybody is very, very happy with them. But this is more about planning, and this is not them. This is, this is the administration part of it, or the decision process part of it. I don't see a development or a road plan on the website anywhere. I'd be happy to, I'd love to be more knowledgeable about that. If you came into the administration and there were deficiencies, I'd love to, get up to speed, understand what they were, and then I'd like to see your plan today. I know a lot, I'm sure a lot of people would like to see what your plan.
Tom, what year was the roads program suspended?
2017.
And so we just got it started back in 23, were able to start saving budget, or was it this year that we
No,
got?
we started back in 22.
22. So it
So
was
I'm not
suspended
sure
for
what
5
that
years.
means, Michael.
It
I
essentially
don't
means
know
they
what
weren't the budgets weren't allocated towards replacing,
Resurfacing.
resurfacing, broken down roads.
Well,
And so
I'm
Tom's been able
surprised by
to,
that, only because during ARPA, our county, and I called you about this, Tom. I said, why didn't you guys apply? We had townships all over the county apply
So,
for funds to go out and do projects in their township.
and we did get funds from ARPA and the town,
Okay.
and the county as well. And it was largely for stormwater retention, which is what was eligible. They would not allow us to use it for just general roads. That was not an eligible use, is general roads. We inquired about it.
Well, I can't go into that here because we had just a multitude of townships all over the county, but there were a variety of road projects. But if you do have your road plan available for the constituents to review, I'd like to look at it, so I understand. But if you're catching up from 2017, you have a lot of catching up to do.
Agreed,
And
and that's what we've been
I'm
working towards.
asking you to do it without raising the levy again. So
I would encourage a
I do
conversation to
know-
figure out how
I
to do
do
that very
know, I
creatively.
do know that as development does occur and some of the areas are annexed into the city. I don't know that your pressures on the road are increasing. There may be a slight decrease every now and then. So I'm just here respectfully to bring this issue to your attention. And I'm here to advocate for our residents
Mhm.
and our businesses, and we need to look at this. It's just like parking at night. This is a matter of public safety.
Well, the one thing, if I can steal my thunder, the one thing that, 2 weeks ago, we got, approval for. Moving forward, phase one engineering of putting pathways up and down Wolf's Crossing in front of Arrowhead Industrial and Cloud Creek Industrial. So that means they're gonna be connecting, bike paths / walking paths from the Del Webb River Crossing facilities in Aurora all the way to there. And there's been, nothing so far this year major, but there were hit and runs at the rail intersection. So that's good news. We're looking forward to, getting it all taken care of. The major chunk of that is the adding pedestrian crossing at the rail crossing right there. And then the one thing that was, literally discussed at Aurora meeting was the potential shutting down of Hoppenrichter. That, because that's kind of always been considered a dead man's corner. It's a hard 90-degree, turn. There was a motorcycle accident there, almost 2 years ago now, but killed someone. And that's been a known issue. That's something that long term they're looking that they want to, plan to close that down. But what happens is first students and the busing people, they use that as the egress to get to the Aurora schools. So there has been a lot of concern and pushback on that. We did, when we did this year's road program, we took a hard look at Schroeder. What we do is we take a look at the worst roads. Instead of paying for an entire engineering analysis of every single road, we just focus on what we feel like are the worst ones. At the time, the engineering analysis came back that Schroeder is, while it's bad, we had worse roads, so we went with the absolute worst roads. In Tamarack, we did the industrial roads down further south. So there was a choice made there. The engineering folks looked at that and said it could be replaced this year, next year. On top of that, the roads and the ditches are it's a system. If your ditches are full of water and you have to freeze thaw cycle, replace that road's not going to last as long. So we have spent a lot of effort. Part of the ARPA funds that you mentioned went towards a large funded project that I can show you that's at the corner of Schroeder North, Schroeder East. And then we did a bunch of the ditches going out there. To make sure that those roads are nice and clean, because there's a lot of flooding out there. We want to make sure that we do replace those roads, that we get rid of flooding and we get a road that's gonna last a good long time. So it's kind of been the plan for a while. It does, and to address your issue, I have I don't have a hard and fixed plan, because what happens is, you know, when we see this routinely is after the winter. We take a look at roads and sometimes, you know, you might think that two roads are worse, but one gets a lot worse over the winter because of potholes, and that's the ones we focus on. And we've been very focused on the, I'll call them the ones, the A priorities only. And Schroeder's up there, but right now it's probably a B, you know, I don't know the number. B plus, you know, it's a B right now. And then we really wanted to get those ditches fixed first. And I think we spent probably, you know, more than $100,000 in road resurfacing there. We've also replaced a lot of culverts for the new additions there. But let's take a little better hard look at that.
You brought up the trail. And for the, I understand we had conversation at Forest Preserve that the trail can only be on the north side of Willis Crossing.
I would love to get, if we can get funding for the south side, that would be awesome. That's yet to be determined though. Phase one engineering will figure out where the pathway can be the least expensive, because you have to, you know, we're gonna go, you know, it's land acquisition.
Have you talked to the homeowners there?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I have kind of not a conversation I'll bring up here, but yeah, I definitely.
So I will just share with you and with all of you that I am not comfortable in any way to have a crossing over Wolf's Crossing. I feel the only safe option is a raised walkway, which I'm told costs too much money. But when you look at the traffic and you look at the road conditions, I've been out there in the evening, I've been out there during the day, I've been out there in the rain, I've been out there during the dry days. It's just not safe. It might be safe for a 34-year-old adult that doesn't have headphones on and he's focusing on crossing that street. But for the average person today, I have no comfort in having a trail cross Wolf's Crossing.
The
So
rail
I'm
tracks? The rail tracks,
The road.
the road.
So I'm putting that out there. I've also put that out there at Forest Preserve. Now there is an overhead beautiful crossing right in front of the new development on Eola.
Yeah.
It's a
Beautiful.
beautiful structure and it's already there. Let's start talking about that.
Thank
That
you.
was
It's
good.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next up, can I get a motion to approve ordinance 24-02 oh, I'm sorry.
I have one comment.
Yes.
So I'm Walter Berkowitz, Naperville. So before I came here today, I looked on the website and this was the agenda that was posted on the website.
Okay,
Okay, then I didn't really see much. Then I came today and I saw this is the agenda.
yes, so there's two meetings today. We have the public hearing regarding the budget, and then we have our general meeting.
Okay, but this wasn't posted on the website.
It should be on the
Okay.
website, it is.
Okay. So it says it
But
was
in-
posted on the 11th. And I just want to know where was it posted on the 11th, because I did not see this on your website.
I'd encourage you to reach out then to our administrator, or one of our administrators, Carolyn Rominger. If you want to send her an email, she'll be able to.
Can we pull it up now?
Okay, well, in either case, for today's agenda, it was posted late. So we're not actually approving any action items that are on that agenda.
Okay.
So there's gonna be a special meeting next week for any action items. So that's just gonna be a discussion-based meeting that was already on the
And
calendar.
then when I did look online and it said that there was a packet for today, right? There was
Okay,
the only thing that was in the packet was this,
what's the
was the
public agenda?
public agenda.
Okay, well, then it must have been an error on behalf of.
Right, so there was nothing else. There's no budget there. There's no there's nothing else. It was just this one document.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2402 town budget?
I make a motion to approve it.
All right. Motion by Colleen, second by Terry. No changes from last month. I'll just give you a quick summary as a reminder, we're looking at, for the general town fund. Sorry. It was a total budget of 695, 607, down from 706, 250. For the assessor's office, we're looking at a budget of 429, 905, up from 405, 750. And those are the primary, and then the cemetery, I believe, was up to 68, 974, to accounting for the road maintenance that he's hoping to get done. Any further comments from the trustees before we move to a roll call? Yes.
I thought the road maintenance was being deferred. I thought that he said that was someone else's problem.
So we should remove that from his. I don't recall. I'll see it. I'm sorry, you're correct. We got that one out of there. So his total budget for the cemetery is 33,175.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, no, 33,175 is the income. See here. Yeah. Okay, so. Let me put it back in here. Yeah, total budget of 28,400 for the cemetery. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I didn't mishear.
I was looking at an old one, but all the other numbers are the updated. Any comments from the trustees before we move on to roll call? Hearing none, Supervisor Crowner, yes. Trustee Hickey,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Rockis.
Yes.
Motion carries by 4-0. 5.2, can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 24-03-0 road district budget?
Motion.
Second.
So we got a first by Terry, second by Kelly. I have no changes. Tom didn't communicate any changes, so it's the same budget that we've been looking at for the past couple months, so. Move on to a roll call vote. Supervisor Crowner, yes. Trustee Hickey,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Rockis.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All right, motion by Rockis, seconded by Jones. Motion. Go by voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Aye.
All right, carries 4-0. Meeting is adjourned at 7:27. Thank you. We will get started on the next piece in 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order at 7:33 PM. If you could please join me. The pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Supervisor Crowner's here, Trustee Hickey,
Here.
Trustee Jones,
Here.
Trustee Rockis,
Here.
Highway Commissioner Weiser,
Here.
Assessor I'm sorry, Assessor Casper.
Here.
And Tax Collector Scriven Young. Not here, and then Clerk Liskey is not here. All right, opening it up to public comment, limited to 1 3-minute comment per person. All right, hearing no public comment. As mentioned prior, because the budget was posted on Wednesday as a posted Tuesday, we're not going to go through any approvals today. Because you need to have a 2-year waiting or 2-day waiting period before you're allowed to have items for approval. So I apologize that happened with the staff, but we are going to put systems in place to make sure that doesn't happen again. So moving on to reports. Mr. Green.
And over the last month, I've been to several grant trainings, which we've needed a great deal of help. We have worked our ways through it. I've been to some nonprofits done by the Chamber of Commerce and Illinois Commerce and Economic Opportunities that had most of their information going towards ARPA funds and things like that, and that was online. I am working with Path to Recovery. It's a free program for people with mental health and addiction problems. They meet twice a month. It's just an excellent program, and it'll help any of our residents at no cost for assistance and help on beating mental health and that type of stuff. All right, I had a meeting, which is the Illinois Administrator Township Association met in Frankfurt. Google takes you to the highway department, so if you're going to Frankfurt, make sure you're going to the right place, and Frankfurt is nowhere near where the supervisor's office is. There was a bunch of really good off the cuff discussions about what's going on out and about. More information on the First Amendment investigators as they've kind of made their rounds, and they've been to a lot of different places. They still haven't come to us. They did the couple on the phone, and they've never been here, but they have been close. They've been in Aurora, and they've been in Naperville, and so on. $250,000 is now finally apparently on the way. We got all together with Luana and Tom and I and Kevin and Carolyn, and everybody pitched in, and Mark Dahlberg all the way from California helping as well. So we finally have our she's good to go. I think Tom saw the same information I did, so it's awesome. And again, I wanted to put out a special thanks to Carolyn and Kevin and Mark and Luana and leadership from Highway Commissioner Weiser and Supervisor Crowner on that. I know it's been going on for a while, and they finally got to the point where there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and we got that grant finally done. And I continue our coursework on
What's the name of the grant? This isn't the ARPA stuff.
It's a grant that we got from Senator Capel from the state
Oh,
budget
right,
Yeah.
on the road.
right.
and even when our state senator, our state rep
Don't think of-
puts the money towards us, you're still all these hurdles you have to jump before you get it. So,
I'm just kidding.
and we're continuing our course on the Finance Association education program. It's an online based program, and it's quite interesting and quite long-winded, but I'm learning a whole bunch of things as well. And the testing is starting to getting close on the first test and stuff like that. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Bill.
Mhm.
Does that recovery, sorry.
Mhm.
Does that have anything that can incorporate with what Kelly was presenting to everyone, a month or two ago?
It possibly could. Path to Recovery is a program that's already out there. And it's fairly big. They go into the jails and things like that. And they actually lost their office, but they are trying to work together with a donor from Aurora for office space to actually do assistance, and then same thing, and they are doing some side work at Linden Oaks.
So how could they possibly affect our citizens? Just something that you know about? that you would pass on,
I know about it, and we would pass it on. We need to get more information to them. A lot of the information, I hate to say it, but it's kind of behind the scenes. It's extremely private as far as who's using it, because they don't want to be known. But they are sought out if they go to the jail, and they are there for drugs and things like that. Caseworkers know about them. I've made sure Vicente who's our caseworker, I made sure that he knows about them. I've clued him in completely on exactly how to get a hold of them, because they're the group I'm affiliated with is out of Naperville and Aurora and Oswego. And they're up and down in the different hospitals and the jails. So
Path Recovery works out of the hospitals, the jails.
They work out,
So
they'll
they're
go to,
They
they'll go to
don't
all,
have an office anymore, so they just like literally just go to those locations.
they will go, they do go to those locations and they do have places where they can do their program. It's the office that they lost was just their administration office. So,
Do they have like brochures that, like, if a citizen came into the office here, you could
yes,
give it to them?
yes, and I need to get some of those. Just so we have it, even if it's just sitting and there's no cost to us, there's no liability to us.
Thank you, Bill.
Mhm.
Assessor Casper.
Unfortunately, we're about to be short 3 people or 4. Pam is retiring in the next couple of months, 1 year. Veteran, in the process of looking for a field agent. We've had none since mid-February. Now, medical issue. And now we never did replace the commercial deputy, that was me before. So we're in a big transition. We'll do the best we can. It'll be a tough go. But keep volunteering.
Thank you. Highway Commissioner Weiser.
Postings on the website or anything?
Okay.
I'm trying to put them on IPAI because it's focused outside.
Okay.
It's focused more on, assessing. But I got one resume so far for field work and I don't know that it's a good fit. It's, we may or may not talk to this person, but we're trying to get out there and planning on putting it on. It's IPAI, and I'm sorry.
Where'd you find this person? Or how did you find it?
Someone who was recommended by, he said someone in Homer Township. So
The-
we're trying to put the word out with the
So,
assessor.
Given that the field agent doesn't require a certification, I would encourage you to put it on places outside of just IPAI.
Yeah.
Just to broaden the scope, because you might have folks who have skill sets that are related, even if it's not necessarily direct, that they can apply, but maybe not necessarily with that direct experience. And I think that is it'll take a little bit of training, but
Yes.
you may want to consider that to broaden the scope of who you can reach out to.
And I did have, actually, one other person, was interested, because it had to do with, he would get tuition free at JJC, but it had to be really specific to finance. That's the one would be measuring, it's not really, not finance, so it wouldn't work for him. He had a tuition, I guess they would pay his tuition, and he could still have a fairly decent paid job, but that did not work. It's not specific to finance. So,
Thank you. Highway Commissioner Weiser.
Already mentioned it, the approval for phase 1 engineering for this pathway along Wolf's Crossing was approved to move forward. They've hired an engineering firm to do that. It's encouraging. They already have, the biggest portion of it is going to be the rail crossing, which is probably 75 to 80% of the entire cost. And that's actually going to be funded and has been funded through federal safety program that's routinely done for safety crossings. Like was mentioned, there's been enough data and accidents at that intersection to prove it out that needs to have a pedestrian crossing there. So it's exciting. Aurora's taking the lead on pushing that. The only thing that's kind of is little T's and C's is might have to have, and that which might involve you, is putting together some intergovernmental agency documentation.
Sure.
And making sure that we have all the correct T's and C's and getting it signed up. I'll stop there.
Thank you, Tom. Trustee Hickey.
I think I kind of glossed over, so I'll just give you some of the details there. The May senior luncheon, we had someone from Forest Preserve come and speak about cicadas. We served 40 meals. We purchased some new beverage dispensers, very exciting for all of us, and we got some supplies. So then yesterday, We had, Chinese food, we had, Panda Express, and we had 40 meals. We do have 3 volunteers from the church that are helping us, and so we've agreed that they should contribute, the seniors each contribute $5. So we agreed that the volunteers from the church should not do that. We had it just be a social event, everyone likes to talk. And there's never enough time, so they got to catch up, which was nice. Our next senior luncheon will be July 17th, if you're interested, Mr. Berkowitz. We're gonna have hot dogs from Johnny's, and it's National Hot Dog Day, folks. So you can't beat that. And the speaker is to be determined.
To say, I was very surprised how engaged and interested people were in the cicada speaker. I thought they were gonna be kind of like off about it, but they loved it, and she did a great job from the
She
forest preserve
was
speaking to it.
Really good.
Yeah. Very knowledgeable. All right, thank you. Trustee Jones? Trustee Rodkiss? Clerk Liskey is not here, and then I have notes for tax collector Scriven Young. Just bear with me one moment while I pull them up. He just said, please include as my report for the meeting that since our last meeting, we sold 1 grave and conducted 1 basket burial and 2 cremation burials. So that was DSY's report. And then I'm next up here. The first, I just want to say thank you to Bill for taking lead on the grant piece with the state. Anybody who has dealt with anything bureaucratic and administrative with the state knows that it's not always the easiest, and he was very patient and he really stuck to it and did a great job of getting that secured and done for us. So again, thank you, Bill. Really appreciate it. I spent some time this week in Joliet Township, kind of getting an understanding and just getting to see their operation and an understanding of how they've been able to kind of expand operations outside of using tax levy increases. So they've been very creative and strong with their utilization of grants. They've received hundreds of thousands of dollars for grants for some programs and literally millions of dollars from the state for grants and other programs. Not that all of those programs would necessarily be applicable to what we're doing, but it was good to see kind of operationally how they've been able to manage expansion, kind of their process for securing those grants and doing the research on those grants, and just something to keep in mind as we think about and evaluate the needs in our community, and should there be opportunities for us to fill in, having a resource there down in Joliet Township who can kind of advise us on that process, I think is very helpful. So excited to be able to lean on that in the future should we come to it. And then I guess my last note is this, and this is kind of, I guess, technically for our first meeting, but we all operate pretty lean here and we do our best, right, with what we've got. And we've got limited funds, and just to give you an idea, I believe our levy is still lower today than it was, I think, over 10 years ago, right? Our tax rates are lower today than they were 10 years ago. So we do operate lean, and it'd be great to do all things for all people all at once, but it's not always easy to. And I just want to say thank you to the trustees for the work that you do with me and drafting the budget and looking things over, and thank you for Tom for kind of your diligence and the hard work you do to kind of build up those funds so that we can get some of these programs up and running that we haven't done in a very long time. We've had no shortage in the last year, especially of residents coming to us with complaints about roads. And, knowing that that's very much top of mind for our staff and that they're working towards getting those things done and back is great. The state funding helps. And I hope we can continue to find opportunities, whether it be state, federal, or what have you, or even the county, to continue to be able to accelerate some of what we've got going on the roads and the township. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Any questions before we move to adjournment?
We need to set the date and time for the next special meeting.
Yeah, we'll have, that'll get pushed out tomorrow. I don't, because that would be an action item. You don't have to do that like in the meeting. You just call for a special meeting. You have to have sufficient notice for it.
The only thing on Tuesday's agenda will be points in 7 and 8. Or will there be a?
We're gonna do, 5, 7, and 8. So we'll do the approval of minutes. We'll do the 2 resolutions and then the bills and claims, because we can approve those today. And then just to give you guys an idea, obviously, we know 7.2 is about filling the vacancy. 7.1, another young man in our community achieved Eagle Scout status. So that's just a resolution congratulating him, just as we did a few months ago for the other Eagle Scout. So, and that's another thing, if, I think it's always fun for people to feel, get recognized by local government. So if any opportunities that you see that you think we should be honoring and recognizing young folks in our community who are doing pretty great things, I highly encourage you to send that information our way. That way we can get it, drafted up and put onto the agenda. So with that being said, I'm going to move to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Sorry,
Yes.
this is Dr. Vasilichaka. Have you, 7.2, are you going to talk about it in the next?
In the next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, we were not able to do that today.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, last time I applied and.
I'm sorry, let us adjourn the meeting because there was the opportunity for public comment at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And then we can speak about it after the meeting.
I
Thank you.
think she was aware of that because the way the conversation went, it wasn't clear that there was a time for people to speak.
I mentioned specifically at the beginning that there was public comment limited to 3 minutes per person. But we can talk about it.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Did I have a second on the?
Terry.
Terry,
Yeah.
okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 7:52 PM. Did you want to talk about that now?
Yes,
You can go.
Yep.
hi, my name is Dr. Vasilichaka. I have been
And-
in the county and Wheatland Township resident for past 20 years. I have been serving in